Hola, amigos. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. What was it, a couple days or so? So I want to apologize in advance. I'm still going through a purging process, so I've been hacking and coughing my lungs out for the last week now. And I'm on medicine. I'm taking, 3 or 4 medications, I guess 2 times a day for the next 30 days, but it's funny how the ascension process has its own department, and the doctor thinks I'm crazy because she's like, I'm checking your lungs and they're clear, there's nothing she's like, I don't understand why you have like drainage from your sinus. There's no signs of, it's a lot of things that are funny. I understand what it is. I was brought to Ephesians 3:16, where it talks about the walk of the believer. I'll put that in my description box below. I wanted to share that with everybody. Even though our paths may have expanded more than just the Bible, more than just going to church every Sunday, we've integrated like so much. The New Age movement is the Christ consciousness Christ movement. It's all of the same. Everything is all now integrated, which I doubted 2 years ago. I was like, ooh, I don't think that's gonna happen. How could you have, gems and stones and be, a worshiper at the same time of the Most High? And it's like, how does all this work? And anyways, I want to say a few things in this video because number one, Facebook, that territory is funny. I posted something yesterday because I saw on End Times Productions channel. Was it End Times Productions channel? There was a video about Revelations, Trump, and End Times. And you can't hide from how revelations just come about. Prophecies just come about. But I think some people get selective with who and how they want these prophecies to happen. And let's get that. Oh, okay. There's rumbling, sorry. Ay! What a push. Anyways, so I got into a really good debate with someone I love very much. And she was just like, I cannot believe that you would side with the devil. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm not siding with it. People think that like when it comes to anyone, like you guys can probably adore and favorite me because I'm a very personable person. But what if I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing? You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I am, but it's just an example. Like, when I think about, let's say, President Obama, I look at how many people went for it because they're like, oh, he's black. I'm like, he's not technically black. He's African because he's from the Middle East. And that was where the correction was. Everyone just kind of assumed because African American makes you black in America. No, there's people have to learn how to have discernment. You have to slice your pizza, and then put your toppings on, and you basically put everything together before you consume it. And that's where people get the misunderstandings. It's just because something goes your way and it appears in your image, it doesn't mean that that's the image of God in front of you. And then vice versa, things that you don't understand why and how is this happening could be the image of God behind closed doors doing something in front of you. And people interpret that as saying, Well, it isn't like God is putting off his faith and God is Trump. He's no savior. And I'm like, well, but if there's someone in full control over all things, of course, this all things creator is going to allow something to transfold in front of us. But all that anger and frustration and yelling and screaming and cursing his name and all this stuff is only bringing judgment on yourself. Because creator's looking back going, ooh. And then the purging process of some people who've had anger and regression for years, it's all coming out. Isn't that what the Father's supposed to do anyway? People don't look at the bigger picture, and that's what kind of frustrates me a little bit. But it's not my job to convince everybody that. It's just people have different levels of thinking that they are smarter and wiser than other people. But then when you have someone who is wise and smart because of his gifts of prophecy, gifts of discernment, gifts of divine intervention, they don't trust it. They think, oh, but you're just a young person and you're naive. And it's like, but if I'm naive, then how was I able to determine how to dictate situations and bring myself this far as a person right now? How am I in a place of leadership right now doing what I am undercover without people really knowing what I'm doing? It's hard to work for like a corporation, but then you can't tell everybody, your spiritual practice, and you can't, and then when you're a blonde-haired, black gay dude, people have their, limitations on what they want to understand about you, and then they have their thoughts of, there's a place in hell for you because of who and what you are. But then the Father knows how to use people as an instrument to carry out his work. So when people come for me, I'm like, I'm ready for it. Let's bring this conversation on right now. And until you learn to distance yourself from, the box that imprisons you, because that's what the cube is. There's a truck in front of me with a bunch of rocks. Anyway, people have to learn to step out of the box. And it doesn't mean that a cardboard box. It means manipulation, the cube. The Saturnian control. If you guys know what that means, Google it. 7 Rings, Ariana Grande. It's the same thing. You know the song well, you sing the song well. She did it. She showed you guys how the 7 Rings effect works through her song. But understanding how everything functions makes it more beautiful of a life experience. More so than being in a schizophrenic environment where everything is fear, fear, fear. And that's not what we're here about. I needed bubbles for my belly. I still feel like. Yeah. I think that's all I really wanted to say about that department is we glorified, President Obama, glorified Clinton. I even thought Hillary was going to win in early 2016. Like, yep, we need a woman. It's going to be the feminine, energy that's going to dominate the masculine. But I didn't see the soul I didn't see through to people at that time. I didn't have that gift yet. Then when I started wanting more gifts, meditating and praying that I received these new gifts, great, there's a lot of rumbling. What happened was I started to see the divine feminine is hiding somewhere, and the masculine was kind of being more vocal. The masculine didn't have a plan. The masculine knew that he had to integrate into the divine feminine. So when the movement started shifting, I was like, oh crap. Women in power are divine masculine. Women in power are not divine feminine. Because divine masculine has to integrate, which would only say that you will have to be very in touch with your own self, your own divine feminine, which is how I'm speaking to you right now. It's very centered, very open, very vulnerable, very nurturing, and very forgiving and understanding. Because that's what mother's instincts are. I'm not here to accuse, criticize, and judge people. I observe a lot, and I repeat what I observe. And on accident, sometimes I might comment too critical, but same thing about Cardi B. The other day I was watching how everybody's like, well, she drugged people, and she admitted it in her video. I'm like, well, but nothing happened to her 3 years ago when she said it, so what the F does it matter now? Leave her alone. If someone had a choice between hustling and struggling, what would you do? And if people are paying to go into an environment where they know they can get hooked up with stuff, that's their choice. They know what they're getting into. And no one's like innocent in the situation like that. But when you're holding someone prisoner because you are a household name celebrity, that's a whole different observation. You can't use your fame to imprison people. That's just not. It's just kind of like reenacting Satan's work to begin with. I am who I am. And if you don't do what I say, I'm going to kill you. Or, that was the whole Babylonian, sacrificial Yahweh, Babylon, Yaldabaoth, what's her name? Ishtar, Sheboygan. What else I want to share? But I commend Cardi on what she said. It was very adult, very mature. That she says, I was not proud and never glorified those moments. And then she says, I still don't glorify those things. I don't put it in my music. So it's just, but then you have rappers who rap about worse things, that's still, I don't know. I kind of am questioning where's everything going, because if we're like in an environment where everybody's just accusing everybody of everything, we're all going to be in prison. Imagine me like as a dance teacher, like how I have to think about filtering myself in terms of choreography, song choices. I was sick on Monday, and then I had someone cover my class, and I guess one of the songs out of the whole hour, because it's like a different songs every 5 minutes, this person, I guess, played a song that someone felt offended to, and guess who was the accused? I had to take accountability for it. It was like, I am sick. I am not taking the fall for anybody's crap. But the fact I chose somebody to cover, it just sucks. But that's how I know we're in tribulation right now, because all of this pointing the fingers and accusing is our judgment. This is our judgment. People thought that Judgment Day was going to be, all right, we die first, and then we all go to this holding area before we go into heaven. And if you're a bad person, you fall and you drop, and if you're good, you go through the pearly gates. It doesn't work like that in our third or fifth density consciousness. It doesn't work like that. Like how I'm talking to you on the phone, how is a supernatural situation going to happen without changing reality? Without shifting everything where you freaked out and you have a heart attack. Things have to happen in a natural reality situation. So this is what we're going through right now. We're all going through tribulation right now. And when it's over with, which is what? I think 2024? 2023? One of those. Because it started in 2016. You add 7 years to that. That's when it's going to end. So, yeah. That's a whole lot for you guys today. I'm going to have a second video. I want to talk about a crazy dream that I had, unless I can get it out the way now, and then repeat it in another video. But this dream that I had was about a war. I really did think this was I thought this was it, Michael Jackson. So, he didn't do it, you guys. I'm very empathetic. I'm very empathic, prophet, psychic, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot that I know, and people just don't want to believe someone has gifts like that. But it's okay. What's it gonna call it? So it was like I woke up on a Thursday and there was like crying out and screaming going on the street, and what I thought was like, a mockingbird, and I was like going outside to stop it from chirping, which was actually happening. But when I went outside, it was like I astral projected into a reality where I took the seatbelt and car parts to make armor of my to protect my body. For some weird reason, I was given a sword. I don't know how, but this sword was really my protection. It really got me through half of this battle before I was kind of stabbed and I woke up. But I was watching the lives of the people who were with me in this battle, on my side, protecting each other. I was watching how each one was being taken out. What is rumbling? Stop. It was kind of creepy. It was like, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would have to go into battle physically to protect my life. Literally fighting to protect your life. There was no break. There was no resting areas. It was just constant fighting people. And a lot of people just were worn out. Stamina was gone. And some people just kind of surrendered because they were so tired, because new energy was coming in and new people were running. It was just a mess. I hope that doesn't happen. I'm just probably praying that I was just going through the motions and going through because that's what happens sometimes when we go to alternative realities. We're ending a timeline somewhere. We are in a multiverse where one reality cancels itself out. I'm thinking that's just what happened. I don't know. Anyways, that's a lot for one day, or just one video session. Hope you guys are well, and I will keep you updated later. Take care.